of the Research Week, very successful Research Week for 2024 on emerging economies for a better tomorrow. I think this is a wonderful way to round off the Research Week because these presentations are by our emerging researchers and it's being presented in Olusola, and I was just chatting about the benefits of these 3-minute thesis presentations. It's being presented in a fashion that is typical for the style of future communication, which is usually in these bite sizes. So my name is Maria Florence. I'm the Deputy Dean of Learning and Teaching in the Faculty of Community and Health Sciences, and I will be chairing this session. I didn't know this until yesterday. I thought it was a sort of a usual, very stiff session, but I'm delighted that this is the session I'm chairing. Because I am very excited about student progress and development and about emerging researchers. I train researchers in the psychology department, so I'm very, very excited. So I will be chairing the session with, as you've seen, Dr. Olusola, and I don't even know your surname, I have to check it, Adeni. You'll be helping me with the monitoring, as you've seen. He's from the Research Development and Postgraduate Support Unit. So allow me to welcome you to a very special session on the 3-minute thesis competition of 2024. It's an event that poses a unique challenge to these brilliant minds. Can you imagine? And I know that, one of the adjudicators, at least, I'm not sure about you, Prof. But I know that Dr. Ruston has won this competition in the past, so she can imagine, but not many of us can imagine condensing all our work and the research that we've conducted for a PhD study, possibly over as many as 5 or more years, into 180 seconds. It's not an easy task, but this is where your passion as a researcher, as a student, your creativity and your power of concise communication comes together. So we'll see our participants distill the years of work into a single snapshot, one slide they can only present of discovery that has the potential to shape the future. And that for me is very exciting. Just a little bit extra. The winners of this competition have the opportunity to enter the national competition, which is on the 25th of October, and Olusola will take them through that process, where they actually compete for a prize. So there's a cash prize, and it's a big cash prize, and they can also enter what is called the Matariki 3MT competition, which is an international competition, but it's an online process where you upload, if I understand correctly, Olusola, a pre-recorded video, and that you need to enter that competition by the end of October as well. So at this point, I'm hoping you are all here. We have 8 participants. We have 2 panelists. I'll quickly introduce Dr. Carmine Ruston from the Faculty of Arts. There she is. She's a lecturer in Women's and Gender Studies. And then Professor Samuel Adjei. He's from the Faculty of Science, Department of Pharmacy. They will be adjudicating. So as some of you may have heard, we will, just to give you an idea of the format, you will present, and then we will break for a few minutes while and I will now join the adjudication panel, where we will do the scoring. So we have these scoring keys, and then we will reconvene to announce the winners. So I'm very excited, as you can see. I hope that you are relaxed and ready for this. But just a reminder of the rules. I know that Olusola has taken you through and prepared you very well. But just to remind you, you can present one PowerPoint, and it needs to be static, no fancy things in it. No additional media, no props. You may not exceed the 3 minutes, so we have the clock there for you to see. If you exceed the 3 minutes, you will be disqualified. And that always brings to mind my experience of playing 30 seconds with my children. When I start to explain what I need to on the card, they stop me and they remind me, Mom, it's 30 seconds, not 30 minutes. So something like that. You have to stick to your time. Only the spoken word. It would be really cool if you can rap it or sing it, but it's not allowed. And my sense is, from my little bit of research I've done on these competitions, that this is to prepare you for the rules at the national level and the international level. So it's not to restrict you, it's to make sure that you understand, how it works at that level and you're prepared for that. So it would be great, if possible, if you can also have your camera on. Melanie did ask me to check with you if you understand all the rules, if you are, I'm not sure, Shante, if you were able to sort out the background issue. You can give me a thumbs up if you're okay with that. You need to have the Research Week background.
Oh, yes, Prof. I think that was Rusha.
Oh, it was Rusha who didn't have her, sorry. I know both of you spoke a little earlier. Thank you. Rusha, are you sorted? Is she still?
I'm not seeing her in the room yet. I'm sure maybe she's restarting her laptop.
Then also she said to check if your audio is fine. We know that for Rusha and for Shante now. So the rest of you will also need to just check if your audio is working and if you're able to share. And the other thing I was supposed to check with you, according to the rules, are you happy to be recorded? So you all need to give us a thumbs up or post something in the chat if you have concerns about being recorded while you present. I'm going to give you 2 minutes a few seconds to just add anything to the chat. Olashula will be monitoring that. Agreed. Thank you, Shante. Thank you, Linda Kushle.
Yes, agreed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, great. So I'm trying not to say too much and to contain my excitement before we get to the presentations, but just to the contestants. It's a very exciting opportunity for you to show your passion for the contribution that you're making to research and to demonstrate how well you know your area. I always tell students when they present and they're anxious, remember, you're the only one who knows this area. You know it better than your supervisors, and you certainly know it better than anybody else. So it's your opportunity to dazzle us. As I said, we will be recording the session. I know it's difficult for the audience to applaud you, but I think that would be great as well. To use sometimes I have a hard time finding these reactions, but to use the reactions when people have presented to show your support. So yeah, audience also get ready to be amazed, educated and inspired by these brilliant minds. And remember to show your appreciation, because this could not have been easy to squeeze into 3 minutes. If you, as an audience also, when you want to applaud, would like to put on your camera, I like that, because then you have access to more reactions, and it's not just that very static reaction, it's more, what do they call it? I forget what they call it, but it's sort of a better way to react that you can only do when your camera is on. We don't have to bigger groups. I think that could work as well. So, Ikekuku, are you ready? Are you ready? Because you first on my list. Can you give me a thumbs up if you're ready? Oh, that's even better. His thesis is titled The Nature and Extent of Parental Involvement in 3 Low-Income School Settings in Cape Town, South Africa, Implications for Policy. Over to you.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I will be presenting about the extent and nature of parental involvement in 3 low-income schools in Cape Town. What happens is that if you check out the results, the outcomes, especially when it comes to grade 12 results, you find out that most of the low income or the township schools, they don't do so well. And on the other hand, there is a policy that encourage parents to participate actively in the education of their children. And on that policy, parents were authorized, to play more important role when it comes to their children's schooling. So parents can even play a role such as participating in the administration of such schools and also helping wherever they can in terms of the learners' schooling. But then we now checked based on the level and the activities of parents in those schools. There were 3 schools. And then we find out that parents are willing to help. And okay, don't forget, in these 3 schools, we intentionally picked up one particular school among the 3 schools, which always provide intelligent, like they make nice grades when it comes to grade 12 matric exams. So from year to year, they are always performing nicely among the other low-income schools. So we selected one of well-performing school, and then we selected the other 2 based on average grade 12 result. And then we'll check the activities of these parents, and we'll see that the activities of the parents are there, but it's very, very limited. Like we ask some parents some questions, we ask teachers some questions, and then we share questionnaires with the learners, being grade 12 learners, to see the dimensions of the activities of those parents in terms of their children's schooling. And then you see that most parents are involved, but they were not doing much. And teachers were also complaining because teachers, they have got a lot of workload on their head. So they expected parents to play their own role, as most of the parents are involved in school governing bodies. But in low-income schools, most of them were not there. So we'll compare the 3 schools, and then we'll find out that the one that is doing perfectly well, it is not as an influence of parents. Rather, it is as an influence of the principal of that school. And what does she do? She is very active. She holds an extramural classes for the grade 12 learners. She tapped into extra resources like community resources like the NGOs and etc. And also she motivates and encourages her young teachers. Teachers in this particular performing school are more younger than the other 2. So when we come to summarize our findings, we'll find out that parents have the same pattern across the 3 schools. They are not performing much, but what makes the difference is the activities of the principal of this well-performing school in Kailesha. And what is it that she was doing in order to make good grades with her grade 12? She has extramural classes. She also rewards her teachers because we were there to observe what is going on, especially in this particular school. So amongst the 3 schools, parents were not doing much, but the performing school, we found out the effect of the leadership style of the principal, which brought a change in terms of results of the learners. So that was the conclusion of my studies.
Okay, Kuku, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Prof,
Yeah.
can I quickly chime in? Ikechukwu, just for you to note that you are being automatically disqualified because you went way above 3 minutes.
Wow.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, I had the beep. I was thinking it's 1 minute more. Okay.
Thank you so much. It was a very interesting study. Thank you for sharing with us. We'll move on to the next presenter. And just a reminder to the presenters, can you, Salma, can you see the clock on your side?
Just a second. No.
Then you need to set the timer for yourself so that you don't go over the 3 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. I don't see it, so let me set my own timer.
Okay. In the meanwhile, the next presenter is Salma Kabashi. Her title for her thesis is Investigating the Role of Host Genetic Polymorphism in Periodontitis Susceptibility in the Western Cape population. Over to you, Salma.
Okay. Have you ever noticed that your gums bleed easily with no obvious reason? That you suffer from chronic bad breath that won't go away? Maybe you notice that you have agonizing pain deep in the gums that you cannot locate. Maybe you notice that your teeth are shifting slightly, moving, falling out without any obvious reason. Maybe you took the next step and went to the dentist where you were informed that you have bone loss around your teeth. Unfortunately, chances are you have periodontitis. Periodontitis is a multifactorial chronic inflammatory disease that, if not treated, leads to irreversible destruction to the tissue supporting the teeth, including the bone. Periodontitis is alarmingly prevalent, affecting 90% of the global population, with 20 to 24% suffering from the severe form. Scientific evidence established that the initiator of the disease are the bacteria and microbe present in the dental plaque biofilm around the teeth. But what is curious about periodontitis is that some people neglect their oral hygiene, but they never get it, while others with the optimum oral hygiene, but still have it. So what's the reason for this difference? The answer lies in our gene. Genetic susceptibility to periodontitis is influenced by variation in our DNA sequence called single nucleotide polymorphism, or SNP. A SNP is a mutation in a single base in the DNA that makes some people more prone to the disease than others. Interestingly, it varies between ethnicity and population. So, intrigued by the South African unique diverse genetic makeup, we conducted a genetic analysis to investigate which SNP, if any, makes the Western Cape population more susceptible to the disease. We conducted a case control study investigating 24 SNP linked to periodontitis inflammatory biomarkers. The results were fascinating. We identified SNPs in two pro-inflammatory proteins, TNF-alpha and interleukin-1 beta. However, surprisingly, they were preventing against the inflammation, protecting against periodontitis. On the other hand, we identified a SNP in OPG, which is a key bone resorption regulator, and this time it increased the susceptibility to the disease to 20 times. This is a unique genetic profile to the South African population that aids in the development of novel diagnostic tools that identify people at risk. It also aids in implementing precision dentistry, whereas the management is tailored according to the individual need and genetic background. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Salma. Well done. What I forgot to do after Ekekuku's presentation was to ask you. So, Salma, I'm going to indulge. I'm asking you to indulge me. Please show your appreciation for his presentation. He did a good job.
It is. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ekekuku.
And then for Salma, thank you so much, both of you. That was really well done. Thank you, Salma. Next, we have Shante Johannes. There she is. You going to sort out your timing as well, Shante?
You can keep yours on, Prof. It should be fine.
Okay, but you can't see mine, right?
I do have my phone, so it should be fine.
Okay,
Are you
go
able to
ahead.
see my presentation?
I can see your presentation. Let me just introduce your topic. The topic
Sorry,
is
Prof.
developing. Yes,
Sorry, Prof.
Oliver?
I think you
Yes.
should also display your time on the screen so that every person can see it, even if Shante is going to use her own time, so that as soon as she starts, so that we see the time on our
So
side.
you can't see my time either.
No, I can see your time.
You can.
Yes, I can see it, and I'm sure everybody can see it.
Okay, but she can't because she's presenting.
Yes, she's presenting, so she's using her phone. So it's so I'm sure by the time she starts, she can click on her phone and then it will probably be in sync.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's in order. Thank you, Olushola. Then Shantae's topic is developing context-specific guidelines to enhance the physical activities of undergraduate university students. Over to you, Shantae.
Imagine if changing how we view physical activity could transform our health. Yet many students are still struggling to meet recommended activity levels. So what's stopping them, and how do mental health, motivation, and social support play a role? Physical activity is any movement that uses energy, like walking or lifting. The World Health Organization suggests young adults, such as undergraduate university students, should aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate activity or 75 minutes of intense activity each week. However, many students are falling short and are considered inactive. Inactivity, like spending most of your time sitting, is a major risk. In South Africa, 57.4% of adults are physically inactive, contributing to global health issues such as death. But what influences whether students stay active? Psychosocial factors such as mental health, motivation, and social support are crucial. Challenges like depression and anxiety can reduce activity levels, while strong motivation and social support from friends and family can encourage a more active lifestyle. Despite this, there's limited research on how these psychosocial factors affect students' overall well-being, and our physical activity guidelines connect with them. Therefore, my thesis aimed to create guidelines tailored for improving physical activity among undergraduate university students. We surveyed 534 students about their psychosocial factors and physical activity levels, and virtually interviewed 18 participants to explore their barriers and facilitators. Our research revealed that nearly 1/3 of students were inactive, which is alarming. Higher stress and anxiety levels are linked to low physical activity. Mental health issues like severe depression and anxiety were prevalent. Students were motivated by improving their body shape, finding happiness, and personal achievement. Support from others, social media, and recognition helped them stay active, while a lack of knowledge, time constraints, and financial issues were major barriers. This study highlights how physical activity and psychosocial factors interact among students. And based on these findings, we developed 9 guidelines for physical activity, 7 for mental health, 9 for motivation, and 7 for social support. These tailored guidelines provide an opportunity for students to improve their health and well-being while incorporating psychosocial factors. The study also finds that our guidelines support several sustainable development goals, such as SDG 3, good health and well-being, SDG 4, quality education, SDG 10, reducing inequalities, and SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities, showcasing their broad impact on student well-being and global sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you. Shantae, please show your appreciation for Shantae.
Thank you very much, Shantae. Well done.
Sorry. Thank you so much. Well done, Shantae. Then we have Linda Kushle Mandioli. I'm not sure why I circled this name. Is the presenter here?
Prof, yes, the presenter is here. Shantae, can you stop presenting so that okay. So I just want to
Oh, there he is.
Lindo, should I do your presentation or you're going to do it
Yes,
from
please, Doc, please.
Oh, okay. Just give me a minute.
Okay, so Linda, you're going to be timing yourself as well, because once you start presenting, you won't see our clock, right? You see? All right, welcome. In the interim, let me introduce your topic. It's the State, Hegemony and Ideology, Reflections on the 1976 Soweto Uprising and the 2015 #FeesMustFall movement. We're still waiting for your presentation. Once you're ready, we will start the clock. There we go. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Depicted here is a picture that I hope in the next 3 minutes will allow me to show you the significance, the impact, and the rationale for my study. The problem that I contended with in this particular study was this contradiction between South Africa being one of the most unequal societies in the world, if not the most unequal, and on the other hand, South Africa having the most progressive and comprehensive constitution in the world. This particular contradiction made me ask questions about why 30 years into democracy, inequality still persists, and beyond persisting, it actually grows. So, using a comparative research strategy, I looked at 2 moments where civil society contends with the state in quest of these economic rights. I looked at the 1976 student uprisings during apartheid, and then I looked at the 2015 #FeesMustFall movement during the democratic era. In 1976, students were fighting not only against the imposition of Afrikaans, but they were fighting against an inferior education that resulted in lack of economic opportunities for them. Those students in 1976, by the brutal apartheid government, were shot dead, some of them jailed, and some of them banned from political activity. Fast forward to 2015, FeesMustFall, October in South Africa. Democratic era South Africa has students fighting for a similar economic right, for the state to make good on its constitutional commitment to make education progressively available. The state responds by sending some of these students to jail, by excluding them from university, and sending them to maximum prisons like Pollsmoor in the case of the University of the Western Cape. Of course, these 2 things that happened between apartheid South Africa and democratic South Africa have got a common denominator. And this common denominator that moves from apartheid right through democratic South Africa is the question around inequality. And the first picture here showed this question of inequality. But the argument of this particular study says, imagine the second picture that I have here, that the horse is the system of society, the mode of production that is capitalism, that transports inequality from colonial South Africa to apartheid South Africa, right through democratic South Africa. And imagine the horse rider being the governments and those who manage the affairs of the state who are riding this transporter of inequality. And in this particular case, I say the problem that democratic South Africa has that can't deal with inequality is because it has changed the horse rider by making the horse rider look like the majority of South Africans and not look at the structural implications of the transporter of inequality, which is the horse. And that fundamentally is capitalism. As a result, the study has found that movements like FeesMustFall will continue to happen that resemble movements that happened in 1976 in the question of Soweto uprisings until we deal with the question of inequality. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindo. Thank you so much. Let's show our appreciation for this presentation. Thank you so much, Lindo. That was well done.
Thank you. Thank you, Lindo.
Thank you.
And then we have Saleh Abdul Nabi. Is he with us? She with us? I'm not sure.
I'm not seeing Saleh in the room, Prof. Yeah.
Not in the room?
Yes, he's not in the room, Prof.
Okay, then we can go on to Rusha. Rusha Van Clay November.
Yes, I think
Yes,
Russia.
okay, so yeah, we sorted now. It was an up and down battle, but eventually we got sorted.
Sorted out the background. Excellent. So
yes, it was a bit of a nightmare.
now let's see if you can share your presentation. There we go.
That's the main thing. Let me.
That's excellent. We see it clearly. Then Rusha, again, a reminder to just check your timer before we start. And while you're doing that, I will share your title. The title is The Use of Professional Cricket Match Play Performance Analysis to Enhance the Tactical Decision-Making of Cricket Coaches. Over to you, Rusha.
So, did you know that in professional cricket, every split-second decision determines the outcome of the game? But what if those decisions can be informed by deep data analysis? My research explores the use of performance analysis in professional cricket and how it's being evaluated by coaches for tactical decision. So when you think of sport, you think, yes, sport has tons of data and data is everywhere, but yet there's a gap in understanding how this data is translated to real-time decisions. So with performance analysis, it basically assists coaches in terms of informing coaching strategies. However, in cricket, there's quite a limited amount of research on data and how data informs but also influences game decision. So with so much data available, my research actually fills the gap by linking performance data with directly to coaches' tactics. So what did I do? I used basically mixed method approach. Firstly, looked at a systematic review to identify the performance analysis practice being used. And then I did qualitative interviews with coaches, players, and analysts. Finally, I looked at a computational analysis by looking at match performance data and then analyzing them to see the difference between the interactions. With this combination, it actually assists me in mapping out how performance analysis is actually used in coaching. So my findings basically revealed that coaches quietly rely on performance analysis for tactical decisions, but they do so selectively. They use it for pre-match preparation as well as in-match adjustments, but they use the perspective of their own pedagogy as well as the experience to be implemented in coaching. So the suggestion is that there should be a mix and a blended data-driven and also instinct decision-making with regards to coaching in cricket. So yes, we see in research that we focus more on the quantity, but my research actually implements of how and when data should be applied for cricket. Now, purely the findings in collaborating with better programs that we can create, but also it balances out between data analysis, but also with experimental learning. Just a take home, in professional cricket, we have analysis which can be a powerful tool, but again, it all depends on when do we need to use it for real-time decision, but also as we advance in technology, we need to understand that we understand performance, but at the end of the day, the human elements and experience always plays a perfect role in high-stake sports. I thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rusha. Well done. Again, can we give our appreciation for her presentation?
Thank you, Rusha. Appreciate.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody that presented. Well done.
Well
Stop
done.
sharing.
Great, thank you. Then we have Mary Mbewe.
Prof, I'm checking Mary Mbewe is not, I'm not
Right.
seeing Mary Mbewe.
Not here. Shall we move on to Mlamli?
Yes, Prof.
Okay, now Mlamli's title, I'm going to need some help now.
Prof, Mlamli is also not here.
Mlamli's also not here. Then
Yes.
that's it, because you said Sydney wouldn't be joining us.
Correct, Prof.
So that means we only had 4 presenters.
Yes.
Right, we had 5 presenters. Right? We had Ichipuku, we had Chante, we had Salma, we had Linda Kushley, and we had Rusha.
Yes, Prof.
Yeah. All right, let me get rid of the clock here. How do I get rid of the clock? Close the apps. Great. So at this point, thank you everyone for your stunning presentations. At this point, some of us are going to leave the room and we're going to do our scoring in a separate meeting. And then if you will hang around, we will come back to this meeting to give you the outcome of our deliberations. Right, please.
Prof, I've started the Google Meet meeting for the panelists to meet and accumulate the scores, then come back to announce the winners.
Okay, great. Thank you, Olashula. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Yes.
My name is Amos from the University of the Western Cape.
Morning, I'm Ignatius Santa. I'm a postgraduate student at the Faculty of Education.
Right, my name is Samana Senjushika. I'm a postgrad student in environmental water science.
My name is Felix Emanzi, and I'm a postgraduate student at the faculty. And I heard about Research Week through UWC Communications.
Research Week is very important in order to share ideas, research findings, and cross-pollination of ideas.
I think the theme of Research Week is very important because it has SDGs and social impact.
So yes, I do know about the Sustainable Development Goals. I'm very passionate about them.
What excites me as a postgraduate student is that it involves social change as well as emergent economics.
What comes to mind when I think about emerging economies? I think the government should provide more support to the people that are trying funding in rural areas.
So when I think about emerging economies, circular economy will create new technologies, innovations from grassroots.
And as you know, there are the SDGs, which people have looked at and said, those are the things which we really got to try and solve. Those are the real issues which affect all the poor and all the people living in Africa who don't have all the middle class things that we've got used to. So those are the things that we try to solve as well.
All right. Can everybody hear me, please?
Yes,
Uh,
Doc.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Can you see me also?
Yeah, no, we
No, we
can't confirm
can't.
that.
No, Doc.
No,
Oh.
no.
I'm not sure what's happening. I think yes. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah. So we're just waiting for the chair of this session, Professor Maria Florence. There she goes. And the other members of the panel. But Prof is going to okay, there we go. We have Professor Gie also joined in already. And I think Dr. Kami will, there we go. Then Dr. Kami has also joined in. Please, can we just quickly sincerely appreciate, Melanin, are we live again, right?
Yes, we are.
All right, yeah. Please, again, on behalf of the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation, the leadership of the Research Development and Postgraduate Support Units. I sincerely want to thank the panelists for availing themselves to be the judges for the 3MT competition. And more interestingly, I also want to sincerely appreciate all the postgrad students, the doctoral students, because I know quite a few of you are going to be walking the stage very soon, before taking time to be part of this competition and just showcasing your research in 3 minutes. I know how nerve-wracking it can be, but thank you so very much. So I want to hand over to Prof. Maria now to give the final verdict. Please take it graciously, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you, Olushula. So first, I want to congratulate all of you, all of the students who have presented. All have reached an extraordinary milestone by the progress you've made with your PhD. And then I also want to congratulate you on brilliant presentations. So completing your PhD is it's no small feat. It's a testament of your dedication, your perseverance, and your intellectual curiosity, which we could see in your presentations. You've pushed the boundary of knowledge, overcome, in most cases, countless challenges, and emerged stronger with new skills, insights, and a world of possibilities ahead of you. And so I want to encourage all of you, actually. We are hoping to keep you at UWC and excited to see what else you're going to produce as you go along. I know everybody's waiting to hear. So who's the winners? We've tailored it across the different adjudicators. And so it's my privilege to announce the runner-up of the 3MT. I hear you say that so nicely, Olushulu, and I'm saying the whole thing, but that sounds much nicer. The runner-up of the 2024 3-minute thesis competition. And actually, we have two runners-up. Our runners-up are, drumroll, Salma Kabashi. Well done.
Well done,
And
Salma.
Shante Johannes.
Thank you.
Well done.
Well done, Shante.
Well done, Shante. Well done, Salma. Congratulations. Let's appreciate them. And you have our support. Very well done. Then, the winner of the 2024 3-minute thesis competition is Rusha Vernclair November. Congratulations, Rusha. Well done.
Thank you.
We would like to see your camera on at this point. I'm tempted to say, Rusha, now you can tell us about your whole study, but we don't have time for that.
Yeah, we're going to have time for that because it's quite
well done,
lengthy. And we'll, of course,
very, very well done. We're going to encourage you to submit your application for the national competition and for the international competition. What was it called? Marikiti competition as well. Very well done. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And like I said, all of you have done really, really well, both with the studies and with the presentations today. And we're looking forward to more of you, your publications, your entry into academia. We're very excited. So really well done, everybody. And thank you for bringing this to us, sharing this with us, and participating in the research week. Thank you to the participants. Thank you to the judges. Thank you, Urshula. Thank you, Melanie, as well.
Thank you, Prof.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Well done.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
So we're